The 2015 present Polish constitutional crisis, also known as the Polish rule of law crisis, is a political conflict where the Polish government is accused of failing to adhere to European and Polish constitutional law. The conflict was precipitated by the 2015 Polish Constitutional Court crisis, where the 2015 elections allowed the Law and Justice Party to take control of both the presidency and parliament, with this government trifecta as a result of its participation in the United Right. PIS used its power to appoint judges to the Constitutional Tribunal in 2015. The government of Poland continued to expand its hold on the judiciary, resulting in the 2017 Supreme Court crisis and the 2019 Polish Judicial Disciplinary Panel law. These events have allowed the legislature and executive of the Polish government to have de facto control over judges and their appointments. These moves have been condemned by the European Union, which initiated an Article 7 process against Poland. The European Commission referred Poland to the European Court of Justice, stating in 2017, the executive and legislative branches have been systematically enabled to politically interfere in the composition, powers, administration and functioning of the judicial branch. In 2019 and 2020, the ECJ ruled against Poland in Commission v Poland, ordering it to suspend several laws which interfere with the independence of the judiciary. But these rulings have been largely ignored in Poland. The crisis briefly jeopardized the EU coronavirus budget, which allowed funds to be made available to EU member states on the condition of rule of law, a clause which both the Polish government and Hungarian government threatened to veto in 2020. Since the changes to the judiciary, a number of protests have taken place as a result of either the changes themselves, rulings by the new judiciary, or other legislative action deemed to break European or international human rights legislation. This includes the Black Protest and women's strike against restrictions to women's rights, the Polish Sejm crisis against restrictions of press freedoms, and the 2020 LGBT protests in Poland against restrictions to LGBT rights. These rulings and legislative actions with the corresponding protest action have exacerbated the crisis in Poland. The Constitutional Tribunal. In Poland, it was illegal to have an abortion except where the mother's life was at risk, the pregnancy was a result of rape, or if the fetus had severe and irreparable impairment. The largely Christian conservative base of PIS follow the Catholic Church teaching on abortion. In 2017, a Pew Research Center poll showed 51% of Poles thought abortion should be illegal in all or most cases. In May 2015, Andrzej Duda was elected as president of Poland with a radical right-wing platform, defeating incumbent Bronislaw Komorowski of the Civic Platform. Prior to the election, Komorowski was believed to be the favorite to win. Duda promised to block the Constitutional Tribunal nominations of the Civic Platform-controlled Sejm until after the 2015 Polish parliamentary election. The outcome has been described as a shock in many media, as observers feared a potential conflict between Poland and the European Union as well as Duda's authoritarian tendency. Following the election of Duda, relations between the European Union and Poland soured, especially in relation to the ongoing European migrant crisis, where Duda refused to be part of the European migrant quota plan managed by the European Asylum Support Office, causing the EU to initiate sanctions procedures against Poland and other Visegrad Group member states. Between the election of Duda and the start of the 8th Sejm on the 12th of November 2015, 5 seats on the TC were due to expire. The 7th Sejm, controlled by PO and its allies, completed its election process for replacement judges. However, Duda refused to swear in these nominees until after the sitting of the 8th Sejm. Following the 2015 Polish parliamentary election in October 2015, PIS took control of the Sejm and elected its own 5 replacement judges, who were elected on the 2nd of December and sworn in on the 3rd of December by Duda. PO claimed this was unlawful, whereas PIS claimed that the initial election of judges by 7th Sejm was unlawful. On the 3rd of December, the TC ruled that 3 of the judges nominated by the 7th Sejm were legally elected. 2 were not. Despite the ruling, Duda did not swear in the legally elected judges. The president of the Constitutional Tribunal dictated that the new 5 judges should not hear cases until the situation was settled. In order to combat this, PIS passed a series of laws through the Sejm and Senate which compelled the TC to allow the judges to hear new cases. The new legislation was signed into law on the 28th of December. In January 2016, the TC ruled the 5 new judges elected by the 8th Sejm were legally appointed. But in March 2016 ruled the new legislation unconstitutional. The latter ruling was ignored.